Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Red Letter, Yellow Letter podcast, a weekly anarchist, voluntary, agorist variety podcast where we talk about and philosophize the morals and ethics of everything going on in the world today, tomorrow, and in the future. I'm your host, The Nev, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host and fellow anarchist, Harley. Harley, how are you today? I know you're excited because we've got our first guest on later.
Other than feeling like punching government in the dick as usual, yes, very excited because first guest, this is someone that honestly, an absolute riot. Everybody just loves them. So I was pretty damn excited when he messaged, like, put me on your podcast. Like, that just wasn't even a question. So yeah, pretty damn happy about that.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun to. It's definitely going to be fun to bring them on the show later. I mean, to be honest with you, that we were thinking. I'm trying to think of. Normally, we would come up with things to discuss on the show because of things that we've read or seen, maybe something we've glimmered off social media, whether it's Facebook or Twitter, or something current eventy like in the news. But the reason why we're a little bit thin on the ground today is because I can't remember what day it was. It was Monday or Tuesday. As you can see, Star Wars t-shirt. I am a Star Wars nerd. My other two shows are about Star Wars. Okay, Harley knows this.
I'm shocked.
That my other two shows are about Star Wars. In fact, tonight, it will be the triumphant return of my third Star Wars show. I do a show on Sunday evenings with a friend of mine, with my co-host and a friend of ours called Going Nerdy, and we do a show. We did it last year with season 1 of The Mandalorian. We're doing it again this year. It's called Talking Mando. And as a result of me being a huge fan, a massive fan of Star Wars and The Mandalorian, I have been off social media since Tuesday of this week because I was just going through my daily business, doing my little bit of scrolling on Twitter, and what did I see? I saw a tweet from someone. Exclusive. Episode 1, Season 2, Mandalorian. Plot leaked on the internet, and that was it. Shut down. Shut it down. I do not want to go to there. So I shut down Twitter. I shut down Facebook. I have barely touched the surface of social media this week because I do not want to know what the plot is. And ever since Friday, for me, it's been even worse because the episode aired on Disney Plus on Friday, and me and my friends. So my friends and I will be doing a live watch party. So on our Twitch channel, we're going to do a live watch party, and then 15 minutes later, we'll be going straight into a live Talking Mando. So it's my not looking at social media has been even worse since Friday because obviously the episode aired on Disney Plus, and I'm not watching it until probably about 7 p.m. tonight. So yeah. So I've not really been on social media that much. I've watched I've don't get me wrong. I've watched a couple of podcasts. I've watched a couple of IRLs on YouTube. So I've been keeping up with things. But yeah, I've just been avoiding social media like the plague because I just don't want the first episode of this season to be spoiled because we all know what it was like when we all know what it was. I'm a big nerd, yeah. We all know what it was like with the sequel trilogy. The sequel trilogy was just an absolute nightmare. Episode 7 got spoilt to hell, and that annoyed a lot of people. Because I was kind of on episode 7, I was like, oh, bless you. Didn't want to know what the didn't want to know what the spoilers were when episode 8 came out, but episode 8 was so crap that I didn't care about episode 9, and I openly told everybody I don't care. I haven't watched it. I have no plans to watch it. Just spoil it. Tell me what it was. So I actually actively went out and watched podcasts of people that were, coming out with rumors. Oh, this is happening and this is happening and this is going to be in the show. And don't get me. I was happy to watch and learn about news regarding season 2. So, who was going to be in it, what characters could be in it, and who was going to get cast. I just didn't want to know what the plot was, before watching it.
Yeah.
figure out what the plot is by watching the episode. So I know that the actors like Timothy Oliphant are going to be in it, and the actor that played Django Fett and that played the clones from the prequel episode. So there's lots of exciting characters that could potentially be in season 2, and obviously Baby Yoda. And the game that I play, the game that I play, Harley, we just got 2 new characters from the show in it. So next week we get IG-11 and we get Queel. So we get the Ugnaught, the little Ugnaught from season 1, and we get IG-11, the droid. But the way that they've done the droid is he's actually got Baby Yoda on a harness. In the game itself, he's got Baby Yoda in a harness on the front of him. So when you go into battle with IG-11, it's got Baby Yoda on the front. It's so it's so cool.
As much of a Star Wars fan as I am, I mean, obviously, a lot of people catch on just because of my Twitter handle,
Oh yeah.
I have not seen Mandalorian. I don't really watch TV much anymore. So I know about Baby Yoda and all that shit, but I don't really know much about it. As far as the trilogy, the most recent trilogy goes, I have seen them all. The last one came out while I was still working the movie theater bar, so I got free admission. That just wasn't even an issue. Mm-hmm. So like, why not just go see it in that case, But I don't hate the trilogy as much as a lot of other people do. That's not to say I don't have my gripes about it, because I do. As far as avoiding spoilers go, so I avoided spoilers when the first one came out. I had high hopes for it, I was just kind of, I try to be a little more optimistic and that kind of stuff. Like when the Hobbit trilogy came out, for instance. I mean, I even got Hobbit trilogy posters right here on my wall, like I knew they were adding a bunch of stuff that wasn't actually in the books, and they were stretching it out into 3, but I was like, okay, but you know what? It's still enjoyable, so I don't care. And that was kind of the same attitude I had with Star Wars. It's like, all right, I know Disney's got it, and we'll see what happens. I'm just going to go in with a positive attitude. And so yeah, I avoided spoilers as much as possible with that, and absolutely threw a fit over Han Solo's death. Like, so help me, I swear to God, I was pissed.
Yeah, no, I was pissed.
Again, my handle, like, Han Solo is like everything. Like my next, other than the freaking pizza wizard tattoo I'm getting on my ass next week, or this week actually, my other one that I had, my next tattoo I had planned and all figured out, quoted and everything, is actually supposed to be the Millennium Falcon on the other side of my arm here, with never tell me the odds and don't get cocky up and down and all, so I was pretty fucking pissed. I'm like, yeah, I finally get Harrison Ford back, and I'm just gone. And then after that, I don't really get to see shows much. I don't really get to go out and watch. Even when I was working at the movie theater, I still hardly actually went and watched movies like for me or anything. Mm-hmm. So I think the only time I really I did watch John Wick on my own, and it was phenomenal. Like, oh my God. But I'm really excited for 4. That one I don't want spoilers on. Oh my God, I will I'll John Wick anybody myself if I get spoilers over that one. But but it got to the point where I was like, I have no idea when I'm going to see these. So kind of the worst thing that could have happened, as far as I'm concerned, already happened. I was not anywhere near as attached to the other characters. Like, if Chewbacca died, then I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? But otherwise, I was nowhere near as attached to anybody else as much as I was to Han Solo. So I was like, whatever. So I didn't really pay attention. I didn't really avoid spoilers, but I also didn't really look to see what happened. I was just kind of like, whatever. With the third one, I had no idea when I was going to see it. So there were all these freaking theories about all the different characters and what's going to happen and all this clashing. And I'm like, I'm just going to read the fucking thing. I don't care right now. So I did. I read the entire plot before I actually saw it. So there were no surprises for me, at all. But yeah. And as far as things like The Mandalorian and everything, I have no idea what's going on there. I haven't seen a single. And people always like, it's on Disney Plus. It's not that expensive. I know that. I just don't really watch TV so much anymore. I'm always doing things with my hands. It's like really hard for me to sit down and watch TV unless I'm doing something else with my hands. So I just haven't bothered. I don't have free time for that.
Yeah.
My free time is spent like with like incense lit and my books on like Taoism and meditation music in the background so I can wind the fuck down and go about my day. That's my free time.
Yeah.
So
No, I mean, I hope that season 2, I really, really hope that they impress upon themselves how season 2 needs to be better than season 1. It needs to keep getting better. The reason why season 1 seemed kind of had the appearance of being, oh my god, this is totally awesome, is because a lot of Star Wars fans, hardcore old school Star Wars fans, had been starved of good Star Wars content, good fan fiction, because obviously George Lucas selling the franchise to Disney meant that we were never going to get an original Star Wars ever again. From then on out, it was always going to be fan fiction. And the problem with fan fiction is it's never going to be as good as the original creator intended. So it was never going to be as good. And obviously the sequel trilogy was a million miles away from anything that George Lucas would have put together. I mean, George Lucas had input on the books, the extended universe. You know, he would actually have input. You know, if an author came to him and said, this is how we want to do the book, he actually had, yeah, no, you're not doing that. No, you're not doing that. No, you can't do this. No, you can't do that. Like, so there were certain things that he said you could do in the books, and there were certain things that he said could not do in the book. Like, perfect example, you just said about being pissed off about Han dying in episode 7, and, you know, maybe it could have been Chewie. If they'd done what a lot of fans like me, extended universe fans like me, suggested, which was take a period in the books where the characters kind of match the age of the actors, and then, you know, move forward with the Star Wars story, there would have kind of made more sense, instead of what Lucasfilm did under Disney, which was just come up with something completely and utterly random.
Yeah.
Not from any source
totally
material.
Random.
Because they did it from no source material at all, zero.
Yeah.
You know, and that's partially J.J. Abrams' fault. It's like, you know, Kathleen Kennedy should have said, look, you know, you've got literally thousands of books, all of this source material, take the source material, give us something, you know, give us something from it. Because if they'd gone with the what I like and what a lot of other people like, which is a series of books where you've got the New Republic fighting not against something from inside the galaxy like the Empire or another evil group rising up that they have to fight, but an external threat, a bunch of aliens called the Yuzang Vong from outside the galaxy, and, you know, the galaxy has to come together to face this new threat from outside the galaxy. The first book, which is called Vector Prime, and Chewie dies in it. But he dies in like the most incredible and epic way. I mean, they killed him off by throwing a moon at him. I'm not kidding you. They're on a planet. They're trying to rescue somebody. Chewie's off. They're trying to rescue their son. Chewie throws his, you know, Han Solo's son onto the Millennium Falcon. They get separated, and you know, the son is flying. The Han Solo's son is flying the ship. Yes, he's flying the ship, and he realizes that they're all gonna die unless he flies away. And he flies away, and the scene in the book is Han at the hatchway, you know, looking at his friend who's literally turned and faced the moon, and he's just raised his arms in the air, and it's like, oh, and you're like, my God, I was in tears. But it's like, that's a way to go, not being run through with a lightsaber by your son, you know, because that's kind of a pussy way of getting, but, you know, moon crashing down on your head, run through with a lightsaber by your son. So, you know, they could have done Vector Prime, and then that sets up, you know, that would have set up the series. And
so. Honestly, the third trilogy was just so like unneeded. Like, okay, you know, you have your original trilogy. okay, you know, Vader's the bad guy, you know, here's how it ends, here's how it starts, etc. Then the next trilogy was like, okay, here is what led to Vader and the whole thing. Here's what led to the whole trilogy. Okay, cool, that's good to know. And then the next trilogy is like, I guess she's Palpatine's granddaughter, because why the fuck not? Like, that was just so unneeded. Like, it just, we could have just ended where it was. And again, I don't hate it as much as other people do. I mean, it's not like it was the worst thing I've ever seen, but I definitely have my complaints about it. There are a lot of things, like I described to you earlier, it felt like, and this is, whenever I say this to anybody, goes, well, that's essentially what it was. It felt like somebody who like skimmed Star Wars and had to like make like a book report type thing or like a creative writing project, and they just crammed a bunch of stuff together while leaving out like all the actual charm, so it just, okay. And then the other ones like Rogue One, the Solo movie, those were all so much better than this trilogy. Honestly, I actually fucking loved the Solo movie, to be honest. Like, I didn't know what to expect. When they announced who the actor for Han Solo was going to be, I was like, who the hell is he? I had like no idea what to expect. Then they announced Donald Glover, and I'm like, okay, he's cool. I like him. This could be good. And honestly, I just absolutely love it. Like, absolutely adored the whole movie. Rogue One was good. I did not like Jyn. I thought she was way too cliche. No, she was just so cliche to me. So I'm hardy and I'm tough and I don't like you. That's all she was. That was her entire personality. I was like, can we be a little more original in this regard?
Resting bitch face throughout the entire movie, except a handful of times where she smiled.
Seriously, then she just looked like a paranoid little like chihuahua throughout the whole movie, just like in a corner. Like, I don't know.
I mean, that might not have been her. That might have just been poor direction.
Well, no, that's the thing.
Could have been poor direction.
The role well. I have no gripes about the actress herself. I have gripes about.
I have no issues with the actor. I'm like you. No issues with the actress.
She did the role the way she was supposed to do the role. Yeah. But the way the character was itself, I just did not like it. It just felt so ham-fisted, so cliche. It was just like, I didn't like that part itself.
Well, that's the problem that you get with these fan fiction movies is as a Star Wars fan, we have expectations.
Exactly.
But the expectations now, we're expecting a George Lucas. I think that was the problem with the first few movies, is we were expecting a George Lucas Star Wars. A George Lucas Star Wars doesn't exist anymore. It's now Disney Star Wars. So we're never going to get a George. So we have kind of like expectations for what we want to see. And like you just said there, the character Jyn Erso wasn't a good character. Now, we don't know if that was bad acting or bad direction. We have no way of knowing.
I think it was just a poorly written character in bad direction. I don't think the actor, because that's the thing. My issues with her are not how the acting was. My issues were how the character is supposed to be. And the character is supposed to be this just very cliche, hardened, I hate you all kind of character. And it's like, that's just been done so many goddamn times, like it wasn't anything new and exciting. And then like you said, as far as expectations go, and I just griped about this too not long ago, but I'm going to gripe so everyone can hear it. Like with the newer trilogy, one of my biggest gripes, because this was one of the really big charms to me about not just the original trilogy, but even the prequel trilogy, I loved the alien diversity. I actually had a bunch of little action figures just of all the little alien critters, and I had a little jungle play set when I was a little kid, because Phantom Menace came out when I was 7 or 8. So I was pretty little. Saw it in the theaters 3 times. Okay.
I was in the army in Cyprus when that came out.
So I was a little kid. I loved Phantom Menace because I was a little kid. It was like, oh my god, new Star Wars, yay, exciting! And I had a ton of different action figures of all the different alien creatures and everything. I just loved it, And then we get this trilogy, and there's so little of that. There are a few here and there, but just about everybody is just they focus more on racial diversity over alien diversity, which there's nothing wrong with adding more racial diversity. That's not an issue. The problem is it's like they did that and then completely left out the alien diversity as well, and they there were just so many times I was watching, I'm like, this character would have been a lot cooler if she was like a Twi'lek or something, or why can't I think of the names? The really like tall, pale on it was in the second, it was in
Which species are you talking about?
one. I can't think of what the race is called right now. It's in the Attack of the Clones one, and the whole planet is like water.
And are really you talking about the Caminos?
Yes, thank you. Yes, okay, done. I'm like, even something like that or something would have at least been cooler. No, instead, okay, what was her name? I can't think of her name, but the chick in the second one, who she had a neat like not redemption, but I mean, like, the way she was killed off and everything was pretty cool. I was like, okay, she sacrificed her life to save everyone else. That's pretty badass. But she was literally just a chick with like pink purple hair, and I'm like, you're the Star Wars trilogy.
You're talking about Holdo, Admiral Holdo.
Yes, I always forget her name because that's how unimportant she was to me.
That's how unimportant
remember her name.
Was,
yeah. So I'm like, she would have been so much cooler if she would have been some other alien race. They could have just bumped that up. That would have given the movie a little more charm, but like the original trilogy charm. And they didn't. They literally just gave her like freaking social justice warrior hair, had her whole hands with Leia to get the freaking progressives all hoping that they were going to be a gay couple, and then called it a day. And it's like, this didn't, I don't know what y'all were trying to execute, but you didn't execute it right. I can tell you that much,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of that. Like, yeah, you had Chewbacca, you had Yoda's Force Ghost dealio, and you had a couple other little alien characters here and there. There was nowhere near enough. It's like, remember the casino scene? And I think
Canto Bight. Yeah, they
like
could have
they
just,
saved
that whole thing
all
could
of
have just
that
been pulled
for
out,
that one scene. Yeah, it was like they just saved it all for background characters. I was like, no, we want more main ones that are not just Chewbacca again, Yoda again. Give us more new ones, because that is part of the excitement and charm of the original trilogy. And even the prequel trilogy did that. We did not get that anywhere near the same level in this trilogy. And that was definitely a really big gripe for me, for sure. Because again, like I said, expectations.
Yeah, and they were all over the place with the characters as well. It's like, here are your main characters.
Literally, what the fuck was the point of Rose?
Yeah, well, here are your main characters, but we're gonna make them sometimes main, sometimes not. Sometimes main, sometimes not.
Right?
Sometimes we're gonna make them look like little bitches, and sometimes we're gonna make them look. It's like, okay, so yeah, because Rose Tico's character in 8 was just. Hang on a minute, isn't Finn and Poe? Aren't Finn and Poe supposed to be like two of the main characters? And yet you're having this tiny little engineer with an electric prod shock the crap out of Finn. And it's like, hasn't he been training since childhood to be like a badass stormtrooper? And you're just going to all of a sudden let him be disarmed by some engineer in overalls with an electric shock prod wand?
There was no
no, that wouldn't happen. That just wouldn't happen,
Yeah, there was just no consistency. It was like Finn started off cool, and then all of a sudden he just kind of like faded into irrelevancy. They tried way too goddamn hard to make Poe Han Solo, which was just like, no, you can't do that. No, he was literally just Han's like Walmart brand Han Solo with a little extra dose of fucking whiny. Like it was just not an enjoyable character to me at all. So yeah, and then literally, like, and I know the girl who played Rose got a lot of bullshit for her character.
Kelly Marie
Tran. Against her. Yeah, I got absolutely nothing against her. Again, just like with the Jyn Erso thing, she played her role the way she was supposed to. Nothing against her. But what was the point of the role? What did she actually do? They had that one kiss scene. It was like, okay, romantic subplot, maybe? Nope, that was gone. Like, well, literally, what was the point of any of it? There was no consistency with the characters at all, whatsoever.
You mean the egregious sexual assault from her on Finn? Because he wasn't expecting that. She kissed him. The sexual assault. You got to remember that Me Too was going around back then. So it was technically a sexual assault. And then she passed out, So she sexually assaulted him, and then she passed out while all of their friends were being destroyed.
Thanks, Rose.
Because obviously
Thanks.
See, Holdo, she was allowed to sacrifice herself for everybody else. She was allowed to sacrifice herself for the greater good. but Finn wasn't allowed to sacrifice himself for the greater good. He was he was stopped from sacrificing himself to save his friends by a woman that just wanted to sexually assault him and then pass out. So
she met him like 5 fucking minutes ago too, and she's already like, just kiss me, take me away, man meat. Like, what the fuck was that?
But yeah, no, many issues with the movies. Obviously, 8 being the worst, 7, 8, and 8 being the worst out of 7, 8, and 9. But hey, we know that hopefully they will take some lessons from the success of the fan fiction that is now being produced by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni regards The Mandalorian. So hopefully, moving forward, and that's why I say, each season of The Mandalorian needs to get better and better and better. That will encourage Disney to, dust off the, the director's sheets and maybe get Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau to be a little bit more creative and come up with some potential stories in the future for movies. But yeah, so Disney fan fiction, it's in a good place right now. Hopefully season 2, once I finished watching it and reviewed it with all my friends, hopefully it'll be a lot better. But yeah, so we totally went off on a complete and utter tangent. But technically, we do talk about what's on social media, and The Mandalorian is something that has been talked about this week. So,
and our guests,
it's not like we haven't
asking him some Liberty questions. So
it's not, yeah, exactly. So why don't you, while I queue up the Zoom, why don't you tell everybody what is coming up? After this next transition, because we're going to do like movie magic and go yeah, so why don't you tell everybody what's coming up?
Like the scene off of Wayne's World, and they're like anyway, all right, so yeah, we've got a special guest that's going to be coming up here. He reached out and asked if he could be on here, and of course I just snatched up that opportunity in a heartbeat, because we wanted to get some guests anyway. We just haven't really had the workings just yet. So yeah, I kind of jumped on this opportunity because he's somebody everybody in Liberty Twitter absolutely loves. We've got our BBW thigh tickler coming up here soon, and I will be asking pretty much backstory, because I really like hearing about the backstories as to what brings people to their political alignments. It can vary so much. So I'll be asking that and then just kind of rolling from there and seeing where the conversation goes.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I'm going to push a button and we're going to go over to that. So we'll see you on the other side of this transition. We're going to do a Star Wars swipe. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gents. We have a new segment. We've got our first guest on. Now, Harley knows this guest a little bit better than I, so I'm going to let her introduce our wonderful guest this afternoon. Harley, take it away.
All right, so for our very first guest ever, we have somebody that a great deal of Liberty Twitter absolutely loves. I absolutely love him too. Everybody say hello to Q. How you doing today?
Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? I'm doing good. How are y'all?
We're doing good. I'm doing good. You doing good, Neil?
Oh yes, I'm doing good. I know that I can see that you're driving a truck, so I just want to know, where are you right now? What part of the country are you in right now? I'm curious.
I am in the Pacific Northwest, Oregon to be exact. I am on the backside of what is known as Dead Man's Pass over here, and on my way to Portland, Oregon, and my delivery's tomorrow.
Sweet.
You be careful when you get there.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. And I know why you said that. Yes, I am careful. I am not delivering in Portland. I'm just parking there at this truck stop that is nowhere near any of that madness at all.
That's good. I know different reasons, but I remember like down here when the shutdowns first started, people were waiting outside. Actually, my friend of mine witnessed this personally too. People would wait outside waiting for truck deliveries to come, and they would just friggin' loot the trucks as they were unloading the grocery stores and everything and take off. You haven't had to deal with any of that kind of stuff, have you?
I have not.
That's good.
If I do, you better get the fuck out the way. Okay, I'm just saying
That's what I want to hear.
that's not even a threat. That's just an announcement. Like this truck does not stop on a dime. Okay. Yeah, just leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? You don't want any of these issues at all, you know.
Yeah, that I believe it. All right. So, I am very curious because you are known in Liberty Twitter, and so therefore I assume you are at least somewhat under the libertarian umbrella, correct? Yeah, that's what I figured. All right. So tell me, what led you to that path? Because I'm always fascinated in hearing people's backstories. Because a lot of them are just kind of the cliche, like, oh, Ron Paul woke me up, and that's cool, that's cool, it's cool. And other people's are like completely out of field, like unexpected. So I want to know what your Liberty backstory is.
What led me to it was real simple. Growing up as a Democrat, because well, that's what black people do, and seeing all the bullshit that the first black president did for 8 years, I'm just like, well, he sucks. Let me see what the other side is doing. So there was a brief period where I was rocking with the GOP. And then about 5 seconds later, I realized, well, damn, they suck just as much as the Democrats do. Was looking at the Libertarians, which I like them. I rock with them. At the same time, Libertarians are their own worst enemy because it seems to be a lot of Libertarians are just having a constitutional circle jerk about who's the most libertarian. You know what I mean? It's like, ooh, Ron Paul. No, wait. Thomas Woods. Oh my God. Justin Amos. Like, guys, relax. Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? Now I'm just like, you know what? I just want to be left alone. I just want to be left alone to my own vices. Let me freaking drive my truck, read some books, smoke some weed, eat some ass. Just leave me alone. I'm good.
Yeah, no, I must admit,
Yes, we ever could have hoped for. I'm so happy right now.
I have seen that a lot. That does tend to happen quite a lot on social media regarding libertarian. It's like, I'm more libertarian than you. No, I'm more libertarian than you. And it's like, no, I'm more libertarian than you because I've read all of Rothbard. And then another one's like, yeah, but I'm more libertarian than you because I've read Rothbard and Thomas Woods. And then somebody else will be like, yeah, but I bet you haven't been invited to Anarcho Polko and you haven't been interviewed by Jeff Berwick. And it's literally, instead of trying to just stick with libertarian principles and agreeing on a standard of what the libertarian principled platform should be, they're all like, well, they're all trying to out libertarian each other.
Yeah. And I'm just like, can we all just agree that we all got a big dick, we all got a big vagina? Can we all just agree on that and just focus on the bigger issue at hand, i.e. the government fucking us left and right without so much as a courtesy spit? Please? Can we please focus on that? I don't tell my God darn it.
That's all right. We might have a little bit of wiggle because you're driving, so we understand that.
Okay, thank you. I swear it's going to get better. Okay, 10 more miles and I'll be at the bottom of the mountain. I swear.
It's all good.
So, first I want to say thank you for having me on. That's pretty awesome. You know what I'm saying?
I was quite excited when you asked if you could be on here because, like I said, we haven't had any guests so far yet. And so when you just kind of messaged, like, get me on there, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get you on here, of course. So, yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled to have you here.
Thank you. You can, like I said, nothing is off limits. You can ask me whatever you want.
All right. Okay, so
I've got a question.
How's your OnlyFans doing?
Oh, God. That is weird. I was going to ask the same question. I wasn't going to say how's it going. It's like I was going to ask how did you get into OnlyFans?
I almost asked that, and then I'm like, no.
So how did you get into OnlyFans, and how long have you been on OnlyFans? Those are our two questions.
I got enough fans. Okay, I got into the OnlyFans because, quite honestly, I saw all the women's out here getting that money. I'm just like, well, damn it, if they can do it, so can I. Let me get this money up. I've been doing it now for almost a year. Now, I'll admit I could use some more fans. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm up for his
I'm all right with
OnlyFans.
it. You know what I mean?
Go,
I'm doing
everybody,
with
right
it.
now.
We will be sure to put a link. We'll share the link.
/QJohnson76. OnlyFans.com/QJohnson76. I'll even tell you what it is. It's just me beating my meat wearing a Lucha Libre wrestling mask, okay? With various music in the background. Sometimes it's Slayer, sometimes it's polka music, sometimes it's R&B, but you're going to get your money's worth.
We will share the link.
Right on.
Oh, this is the best. I'm so happy right now.
So you saw the Twitch thoughts. You saw the thoughts, and you're like, I want some of that internet money, and you decided to go out and get some of that internet money.
That's fair. That's free market right there, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I'm seeing, like you said, I'm seeing women getting car notes paid off and getting houses and whatnot, and I'm just like, why the hell not for me? Why the hell not?
No, that's totally fair. I'm not courageous enough for such a thing. I joke about starting OnlyFans and doing stupid shit on there, but I'm not as brave as you are. And I feel like it's probably pretty saturated for women anyway, to be honest.
Right now, no. Listen. Dudes will pay for anything, okay? You can start on OnlyFans, not even show your face. Just show your feet, and you will make some money.
Okay, you know what? Okay, but here's the problem. Guys, confession. I tried doing that with my feet. The problem is I legally have multiple different names depending on which state and which department you ask, and OnlyFans refuses to believe my ID is actually mine.
That sucks.
Yeah. No, I'm actually constantly told that I have fetish-worthy feet. I actually have several friends that harass me. If I ever put up a photo, my feet just happen to be in there. They're like, why the fuck are you putting them up for free again? Because apparently I have some nice-ass feet. So I was like, all right, let's get this going. No one's got to see, no one's got to see my face. I'll just like step in food or shit. I don't know. Just give me like a pumpkin pie. Do some seasonal shit. I got toe rings and everything. Make it all cute. I know how to clean them up. Nope. I guess that's just not in the cards for me because OnlyFans refuses to believe that my face is actually my face when confirming who I am for payment. So yeah. So I mean, if you really want foot photos, go ahead and just reach out to me independently. I've got PayPal and shit. I don't care anymore. But that's about the extent of what you're gonna get. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna do like foot. I've had people asking me for like foot job videos and shit, and no, that's not happening. I'm not going that far. I will just admire how cute. Okay, I'll do them all pretty. I'll do them all colorful and everything. That's about all you're gonna get. Just throwing that out there right now.
Hey, yo, she said foot job video. I'm done. Oh shit.
So what else do you have a passion for then, Quincey?
Hold on. I mean, are you have a what?
What else do you have a passion for in the Liberty community?
What are you passionate about?
I am passionate about, first and foremost, personal responsibility. I have a passion for freedom. I have a passion for being a freaking individual, first and foremost. Okay? Uh-oh, I think I hit the mute button. Hold on. Hello?
Oh, yeah, we can still hear you.
Yeah.
Oh. Hold on. I done messed up something. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, we can still hear you.
Okay.
You've just switched your camera around.
Yeah.
Yes, I did, because I want you to see this gorgeous view that I have here, you know?
Okay, that's a nice sky.
I love road trips. Not gonna lie. I actually did in my teen years heavily consider. Funny enough, because I can't even drive. I don't even have a license. This is before I found out I was literally narcoleptic. I'd heavily considered being a trucker actually, because I just enjoy road trips and zoning out and just admiring all the views around and everything. You know, figured why not, but didn't happen. Not gonna happen. Not until I'm like 65, 75, had enough of life, and I'm just like, if I die, I die, I guess.
Hold on here.
What's the nicest state to drive through?
I'm sorry.
What's the nicest state to drive through?
You know what? That is a damn good question. Nicest, you know, honestly, I would say the area I'm in now, the Pacific Northwest, it's a sexy, you know, area to drive through. I've said many a time, if the weather in the wintertime wasn't so fucked up, I would totally move out here. You know what I'm saying? Because in the spring and the summer, it's just gorgeous out here in the forest, even in the farmland like I am now. In the wintertime, watch out.
Yeah. I grew up I grew up in Sacramento, but there were plenty of times I go up there with family, because I had family up in like Hatchet Mountain around Bernie Falls and everything. So there are times we go up there and visit, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
It's funny you say Sacramento. I was just there last week.
Oh yeah, that's where I was born and raised, Sacramento. So yeah, we go up to like Placerville and Hatchet Mountain, Bernie Falls, Redding, like Shasta Mountain kind of area. Sometimes, and visit family up there. Always just my great grandpa was living in Bigfoot country, so there's a lot of fun going up and visiting for sure.
Listen, that whole area of like Northern California, get out, bitch, and stay out, motherfucker. Stay the fuck out, bitch ass motherfucker. Anywho, that whole area of Northern California by like Dutch Flat and Truckee and everything, just fucking good area. If California wasn't so effed up, yeah, I would consider moving out there, but no.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
More people moving out of California than moving into it.
Man, that's why I'm not moving to Texas, because a whole lot of people from Cali are moving over to Texas. I'm just like, nah. Like I'm not even gonna lie, I'm a little bit worried about Texas going blue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been hearing that's been fairly likely.
Well, yep. I mean, I know a lot of people have said that, but the thing is, if you take, I mean, sure, there's a large amount of blue leaving California and they're going to Texas, but they're not all going to go to one small area enough to be able to, make a.
They're going to Austin, Texas.
Oh,
most definitely.
Well, Austin, yeah. Well, I mean, they may go to one. Okay. So if a large number of them go to Austin, Austin was already starting to turn blue because a lot of people from California. But the rest of the state, that's one of the reasons why it's not a majority rule in the United States. It doesn't get ruled, but which is good. I mean, don't get me wrong, voting isn't the best way to, deal with social issues, but at least the people moving from California to Texas, they can't all just move to one city and go, right, okay, we're now going to dictate to everybody else in this very, very large geographical location to live by, the way we want to live. So
it's how it starts, though. I mean, I live in Arizona.
That is how it starts.
I'm a dirty Californian who moved to Arizona to get away from dirty California, And I swear I haven't tainted Arizona. I haven't voted or anything once. But but here's the thing, though. Arizona used to be pretty much a red state. And it's honestly, at this point, it's pretty damn split. I mean, it's like down here, I live in Tucson. Tucson is a college city for sure. It's also massive. It is just a huge, widespread city. Not, like it's got a pretty, Phoenix is bigger, but Phoenix the same way. It's just massive and widespread. And so, yeah, it's very, these two cities, they're very much the vocal points of the state. The other major cities we have are really not anywhere near as major as Tucson and Phoenix. So these two cities kind of do speak largely for the rest of the state. It is very split. Honestly, I mean, I've been seeing people say, like, oh, I've never seen a Biden sign in the wild. And no, I see them all the damn time here, believe it or not. I see Biden-Harris signs in people's yards, out in the open, everywhere down here. And yes, about 10 years ago, I never really saw Democratic stickers. They were far and few in between, but they really were not that common. Now they're everywhere. Bernie ones, Biden ones, they're all over the place, just as much as I see Trump ones. And then the Trump ones are obnoxious as shit. Saw so many damn trucks with the giant flags. We have this one guy down at the gym I go to. His entire truck is painted in Trump murals. Like, and it's a little funky because, like, I've seen the guy who drives it, and he's this like absolutely shredded, like 80-year-old man. And so it's a little, it's a little weird. It's a little weird, but yeah, I mean, it's very much split, but it didn't used to be split. That's how it starts. Everyone starts leaking in, and then they all get vocal, and then it starts to shift. So I'd say we're very much seeing that down here for sure. So yeah, be careful with Austin and be careful with Texas.
Do you see that a lot, Quincey, on the road? Do you see a lot of signs out?
I see way more Trump signs than I do Biden-Harris signs out here.
Any
Even
Joe
in
Jorgensen's?
Pennsylvania. Any who? No. None of her.
So
I
it's
can't
just-
say I've seen any Joe Jorgensen. Maybe one or two, but not many down here.
I've seen one in Illinois.
I haven't seen a single Joe Jorgensen billboard or sign anywhere. But I can tell you, out west in the area between LA and San Fran, where it's all farm country and wine country, that is firm Trump area all over there. All you're gonna see is Trump flags, Gadsden flags. I mean, yeah, they fucking love Trump in that area of that state. And even on a nationwide basis, I'm seeing nothing but, Trump Pence signs everywhere.
What's the ratio? What kind of ratio are you seeing? When you're out and about?
Ratio would be 7-3, Trump to Biden easily.
I'd imagine if you're going through a lot of highways where things are more rural, you're probably going to see more rural-minded politics, if that makes sense. You'll see more Trump supporters.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Going through the rural areas, or even going through the desert areas on I-15, coming out of Vegas and in California, I still see a shit ton of Trump signs and things like that.
Yeah, I believe that. I mean, I live fairly rural outside of Tucson, and out here, I'm not seeing Biden-Harris stuff. I'm seeing Trump supporters out here for sure. But once I get in town, that's when it's far more split. It is very, in fact, I mean, honestly, I think I'd say probably about 50-50 down once you get into town. Well, depending on what section of town. Once you get downtown, it's like straight up Biden stuff. The Trump stuff is very far and few in between. But once you get down to like the college areas, the hippie areas, etc., oh yeah, it's totally just Biden, Harris, and Bernie stuff still also just everywhere. Absolutely everywhere.
I am based in Denver. I've seen, I haven't seen many signs for anyone in Denver, but in Denver I've seen 3 Biden-Harris signs, and they were all on the same property. I mean, as far as the ratio, I'm seeing way more Trump signs than I am Biden signs, and I'm saying that for the whole nation. I've been in every damn state in the continental. It's rare that I see a Biden Harris sign either in somebody's yard or on a billboard or on the back of somebody's bumper. It is rare, rare.
Yeah, nobody actually likes them.
Yeah, and see, and that's another reason why I'm personally moving to South Dakota. I've done my research. Since South Dakota has become a state, they've only voted blue for president 5 times and none since 1972. I'm like, okay, good enough for me.
What's
yeah,
the
whatever
appeal? What's the appeal of South Dakota?
The appeal of South Dakota, first and foremost, no state income tax. First and foremost, no
That's
state
fair.
income tax. The property taxes are low as fuck. The gun laws are better than Texas, which I never thought I'd be saying that. Like, I've come across 3 churches. Oh shit! I flashed the white power sign. Oh no! Oh my God! I've come across 3 churches in South Dakota that flat out said, if you become a member, we will give you a fucking AR-15. I'm like, okay.
Oh my God!
I know.
That's nuts.
Yes, it's nuts and awesome. Also, at the same time, there's not a lot of people in South Dakota, and that's what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? Like, Austin, Texas has a bigger population than a whole damn state of South Dakota. I'm cool with that. I am tired of living in neighborhoods. I'm tired of opening up my front door and seeing 30, 40 more houses. I want to open up my front door and see nothing but land and air, you know?
Mm-hmm. Shit, I'm moving to South Dakota now. Bye, guys.
You like the solitude. You like the solitude.
Yes, I do. I really do. I've never been much of a group person. You know, I'm not gonna say I'm an outsider and just, I'm living in a hole in the woods, but just being out in nature. Ever I would say ever since I found out about nature in 2008, I've had a mean hard on for it ever since. So South Dakota just makes sense, you know what I mean?
No, yeah, totally. That all definitely sounds very appealing. 'Cause I'm the same way. I don't like tons of city. It's why I don't live near the city, you know? Like I have like a whopping 5 neighbors, maybe. That's about it. You know, like I totally get it.
Here.
Is that damn fly again?
No, he got a friend or something, or it's the revenge spawn on the fly. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, but you're going to need internet, though, in South Dakota, aren't you? Is the internet good in South Dakota?
You know what? Believe it or not, the internet is good in South Dakota. Believe it or not, the internet is very, very, very well. Well, at least the place where I'm looking at, the internet is looking pretty good. And if not, okay, I've got a shit ton of books and whiskey. I'll be okay.
There you go. There you go. I'm down. That sounds good to me.
So, so when you move to South Dakota, do Harley and I get an invitation extended to come visit?
Of course, y'all can come through. Just give me a heads up so I can, deactivate my alarms.
You're gonna have to see. I feel like I owe it to you, but you don't. That if I were ever down your area, you'd have to see the tattoo in person. The upcoming tattoo.
I got you covered. I got you covered.
Both y'all are welcome to come Saturday. This Saturday.
Hey, good times only at the compound. Clothing optional. Ha!
I don't know about that far, but at least I'd let you see it since you're the one
stumping up.
Your feet must be naked at all times, Rebel. Your feet must be naked at all times.
That's fair. That's fair. My feet will always be naked. I like barefoot. I love it. I go outside whenever we have packages getting delivered, and it'll be like 115 degrees outside. I will just go out there I don't know how the hell my feet still look this good, because I go out there on freaking bare concrete or desert sand in 115-degree heat. And I just stand there waiting for the mail. And they look at me and they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
That's pretty badass. I'll admit that. Jesus.
It's desert hobbit feet. That's what I call it. It's my desert hobbit.
Desert hobbit feet. Okay, we're done. What the fuck?
So would you still do?
Wow.
So you would still do your trucking gig, but you would base yourself from South Dakota then?
That is correct. As of right now, I am living in my truck, and I'm going to live in my truck until at least March of next year, maybe even later than that. Because I'm trying to get enough money saved up to where I can just buy the land outright.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
put a tiny home on it and a hot tub, because I've never had a hot tub before, and I like hot tubs,
The
and just
important
be
shit.
chilling.
We will definitely help you with you know, your rabbit meat and your growing of vegetables, because that's our thing. We do that.
Yes.
We'll definitely help you get squared away with a garden, so that you can you know, you can grow a boatload of potatoes and have twice baked potatoes whenever you want.
Most definitely a garden will be on site. There's going to be a garden. There's going to be some type of gun range, some type of liquor still, a windmill is going to be on there. I'm trying to be as self-sufficient as humanly possible.
I am all for this. I absolutely love hearing all this.
Oh yeah, definitely. Some piece of land, and then just plunk some stuff down on it. Make yourself as self-sufficient as possible. Try and get yourself some land, right? You want to try and get yourself some land with some running water on it. Oh,
Is
have
it
we lost
frozen?
him?
I think it's frozen.
Looking at whale or lake on site, most definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Because then, you know, if you can get a lake on site, that's brilliant for fishing, because then you can breed some fish in your lake. But if you can't get a lake, you know, a small brook or a stream, something that you can put a generator in, so that you can get the generate electricity from the running water. Yeah, you definitely want something like that.
My great grandfather, actually, in Northern California, he had 3 acres of land on Hatchet Mountain, and the entire thing he built himself, like from scratch, cut down the trees, built it all himself. That's what he did for a living. And so he actually there was a stream somewhat near his house, and I don't know how the hell he did it, but he actually like dug around to create like 2 big ponds that were connected to the stream outside his property, and he had like trout and everything that would breed inside of it, and he'd sit there and like feed them. And I don't think he actually fished out of them, though. I think he kept them more as pets. I know he had a couple taxidermy when he passed away, but I mean, he figured that shit out. So I mean, if he wanted to breed them for food, he totally could have. So I mean, that's another option too. If you don't have one on your property, you might be able to kind of finagle it and create one on your property.
Yeah, is that something that you're looking at? Breeding, having animals as well, like on the farm?
Yes, I'm definitely going to have some chickens and some goats on there. I'm going to have 2 turkeys. I'm going to name them Thanksgiving and Christmas, so that there's no confusion about why the fuck they're on my property. You know what I'm saying? They ain't pets. They're food, Yeah.
Oh my
All
God.
of that.
Can I recommend? I recommend also Muscovy. Are you familiar with Muscovy?
Who?
Muscovy. It's a type of bird, and they look like giant ducks, except they're not ducks. They're their own thing, and they don't need water like ducks do. They're actually pretty freaking huge. They lay eggs and everything. They're actually guard birds. Believe it or not, they will actually, like, they know to protect the surrounding property, and if critters, if snakes, etc., come in, they will beat the shit out of them. And their meat is like, it's not like duck greasy meat. It's closer to Salisbury steak.
Oh, you know what? This is my first time hearing about
Look into it.
Bird.
Look into it.
I will.
Ever since I learned about them, and like my brother raised them, and so I helped them feed them and name them, all kinds of stuff. So and at one point one escaped, and they're huge. I caught it myself, and they're freaking huge, but they aren't going to hurt you as long as they trust you. But I mean, there were times that animals, they're smart. Okay, so I had some of my rabbits living in that yard where they lived in. They never bothered those rabbits, but if a stray rabbit came in, they beat the shit out of them. They knew which ones were to protect and which rabbits were not like hours. I mean, they learn quick. So yeah, they're actually guard birds. And I don't know, I like their meat better than duck. Like duck's good, but it's too rich for me. And they're freaking massive. They lay eggs and everything. So yeah, and they don't need water and shit like ducks normally do. I mean, they need water, but not like to swim in, you know. So yeah, I suggest you look into that if you haven't.
Do you know how much it's going to cost? Have you like started pricing things up? Have you got yourself a budget? How much you need for for building materials? I mean, do you know what type of a structure that you're going to put on the land? Are you going to do like an earth dome, or are you going to do like a wooden frame structure with a concrete base? Do you know roughly in your mind what you're going to do?
Yes. I know that the land 10% down, you know what I'm saying? So that could be anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000. I can easily get that. As far as the housing, it's either going to be a prefab tiny home, or something that's called a park model RV. It's basically a house on wheels, but it's still like maybe 20 by 20 or something like that. And you can get one fully loaded for like 50 grand. You know what I mean? That, you know, it's already got the water connections and the bed and the shower and the bathroom are already hooked up to it. It's going to be a minimalist approach with whatever I get. Either I'm going to buy a dwelling, or just get some people and build that shit my damn self. You know, just pour a foundation and then just put a frame on that foundation. Because again, the entire structure might be 20 by 20 at best.
So you
Like,
don't fancy going for something like an earth dome then, and go down the sandbag route and use the earth on the land to make yourself a nice one big solid structure?
No, because that would feel too much like living underground, and I'm not really trying to do all that. I want something with like a bunch of windows in it, so I can enjoy the view and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'll have to tweet you. I'll have to tweet you some. Pictures of earth domes that actually do have huge windows. It's what one of the things about it is you want as much light in it as possible, so that you can take advantage of sunlight pouring into the building, so that you don't need to use electricity as much during the summer months for heating on the inside.
Okay, listen, I'm down for it. Like, quite honestly, if money wasn't an issue, I'd also have a damn yurt on the premises as well, because I like them. I also like those geodesic domes.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah. Well, I mean, how much
they're
land are
pretty
you planning on
kick-ass.
getting? You could literally do
A
all of
minimum
that.
of 5 acres.
You see, if you're getting 5 acres, you could literally, you could do what you wanted to do. So you could get yourself self-sustaining structure, go for the minimalistic, and then you've got enough land. It'd be like, right, okay, I'm going to put a yurt there. I'm going to put one of those cubic type domes there. I'm going to put an earth dome that, you could pretty much do whatever you wanted. And then when guests come and, when you have friends and you have friends and family come and visit, you can be like, where do you want to stay? You can stay in the yurt, or you can stay in the dome, or you can stay in the earth dome. Where'd you... But you ain't staying.
That doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Yeah, you could pick and choose.
Oh, you could do like an Airbnb type thing, maybe even.
No, I'm not really a fan of the Airbnb.
I know some people who do that. I've actually got a friend in Flagstaff who does that, but it's definitely not for everybody. I don't think I could do it either personally, but
I personally prefer the anonymity of a hotel. And besides, I would feel uncomfortable taking a dump in somebody else's house. I've never.
Oh no! I meant you have multiple house structures and they pay to stay there. Is what I meant.
Nah, I'm good. Nah, I mean, in all honesty, I might have some guest over, but once I get my property, it's gonna be very quiet and solitude. Yeah, it will not be party central. It'll be like, all right, I got a freaking stack of books and a pound of weed. Let's go.
See, I don't smoke, but everything else about the scenario is what this speaks to me here. But this is why I want in the future. I want my own, like you said some kind of like distillery or something. Like that's another big personal goal. I need my own distillery in the future.
You could do like a Liberty book club. Like you just said there, you've got a big pile of books and a big pile of weed. You could like literally, okay, I'm going to invite some friends, but it's quiet. You must all read this book, and then we're all going to sit down around a fire and talk about the book in a nice, quiet way. You know, you could have your quiet parties about books. Literally, you could start a Liberty book club. It's like, yep, you can come and stay, but it's not a party. There's not loud music. We're going to sit and we're going to read a book, and then we're going to talk about said book and get stoned.
Hey, Rebel, I owe you an apology because I thought you was just over there just toking up like crazy. My apologies.
No. I mean, it is that they have relaxed I do believe regulations and laws in Illinois have been relaxed, specifically in Chicago. What are the rules and regs in South Dakota? Is recreational marijuana legal in South Dakota? No.
No, recreational is not legal. Neither is medical. But you know, what they don't know won't hurt them.
Exactly.
Except you just announced it on a podcast on YouTube.
What they don't know won't hurt them.
Well, he's not doing it yet, so I mean.
True that. You're not doing it yet.
I just saw Biden. That's the first time that
We lost you for a minute there. You'll have to repeat yourself, Quincey.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
Yeah, you're back.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, I was saying that I just saw my first Biden-Harris sign in this state.
Oh, wow.
We jinxed it.
We've jinxed you.
We spawned it.
One damn sign. It's not like, you know, it's a blue wave or something.
Well, they tried.
Well, I mean, at least all of that stuff will be over and done with it after a few days.
Thank God. Like, I cannot wait for this damn election to be over. I have a few predictions if y'all want to hear it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. First and foremost, I think short of him dying the day before, I think that Trump gets reelected and it's not even going to be close. I also think that if he does get reelected, you're going to see a lot of black people with blue checks next to their name blaming that shit on black men staying home and not voting. You mark my words on that shit, brother. It is going to be hell on earth for black men if Donald Trump gets fucking reelected. I can guarantee you about that, you know?
Oh, what, for the one that you think the Democrats would blame people that didn't vote?
Yeah, just like they did in 2016.
Yeah.
I was here for that. I saw a bunch of tweets blaming Trump being elected on black men staying home, and I think it's going to be a repeat of that this year. Me personally, I'm going to do the same thing Tuesday that I did last year. I'm going to put out one tweet in the morning saying that I really don't give a fuck who wins or who loses because I still have a job to do and I'm going to fucking do it. And that's that. And then I'm going to turn off my damn notifications and just listen to music all damn day like I did 4 years ago.
Gosh, 4 years ago, I sat there with a giant multiple rum and cokes and just slumped on the couch and turned everything off. I just didn't want to be there.
last yeah, freaking last year, not last year, 2016. I was actually out on the West Coast again. I was in Cali and whatnot, and I put out that damn one tweet, and then it was Miles Davis anime soundtracks and Slayer all day long, listening to that, and then the next morning I got up like on 4 in the morning and saw that Trump won, and my immediate thought was, "Wow, the nigga actually pulled it off." All right, whatever, and then got my ass on the work. You know what I'm saying? No big deal. No big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I was in the I was in a steel factory, and I had lots of, because I was, I kept my ear to the ground, and my eye on social media, and a bunch of people at my work were coming to me saying, "Oh, who do you think's going to win?" And even though he was tanking in the polls, I went, it's going to be Trump." And they're like, "Yeah, but the polls," and I'm like, "Yeah, but look what happens to people that come out and say, I'm voting for this person. They're chastised, they're berated, they're denigrated."
Yeah.
So what's going to happen this time? I think that what's going to happen this time is not entirely dissimilar to what happened the last time. More people are just going to keep their mouth shut and, vote without saying who they're going to vote for. And,
Yep.
they're not going to say, "Oh, I'm going to vote for him," or "I'm going to vote for him." They're just going to keep their mouth shut and go and vote because they are fearful of, crazy people. Because there's a very small minority of crazy people on both teams that say horrible, horrible things about each other's teams, and people just don't want to put up with that crap. It's like, "Oh, you're a horrible person because you vote that way." It's like, well, I'm just not going to tell you. So yeah, and I just think that there's more people. There's more people.
Sorry, I don't know. I don't know. I don't. Hello.
Yeah, we're still here, mate.
Yeah, we hear you.
Hello.
Yeah, we're still here.
Okay. Sorry, I had to turn down my CB radio. Okay, I had to turn down my CB radio. I don't know if you heard that or not, and if you did, my
No, can't hear.
Yeah, that it froze.
Did I
Your
lose him
your camera
again?
froze on your face in a
Okay,
very
there you
interesting
are.
way. Then. So anyway, I think.
Oh yeah, my CB radio was on full volume, and somebody said something.
We didn't hear it. Don't worry.
Okay.
So you think Trump's going to win, and you think he's going to win big?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I think it's going to be a literal repeat of 2016 all
Mhm.
over again. And I'm pretty much going to do the same thing today that I did back then. Okay, he won. Now what?
Yeah.
Are you going to bitch and moan about it and curl up in the ball and cry like a little bitch? Or are you going to rise to the occasion and handle your damn business? Which one is it? Because you can't do both. So pick one, and you better choose correctly.
Right. I know all the freaking screaming. Well, like when that one person that was filmed like knelt down screaming no after they announced, like, how much more of that, especially with all the increase, like with the TikTok videos and everything of all these freaking liberal women like scream. I say liberal, I don't know, progressive instead. I think it's more accurate. Progressive women screaming into the void from their cars and ramming their head into pillows and shit. Like the aftermath is going to be a little more interesting this time around, I think. Like, so down there, I suggest everyone gets a good stock of popcorn on hand just so we can all just watch everyone fall apart.
I really think there's going to be an uptick of people using heroin, to be honest with you. I really do think that it's going to be a bunch of people that just can't take the pressure of Donald Trump being reelected.
Like they say, skyrocket.
Idiots. Just absolute idiots.
Pretty much.
Okay, so we're definitely coming to the end. One thing that we definitely want to know, and I'm sure everybody else is going to want to know, is where can people find you? Where can people find your podcasts? Where can people find you on social media? Tell the viewing audience where people can find you.
Start plugging shit.
Okay, I'm pretty much just on Twitter. I mean, I do have an Instagram, but I haven't used it in like 5 years, and I literally just have one post of me eating ass, but whatever. You can find me on Twitter, BBW Thought Tickler on Twitter. Okay, that's where I'm at. You can find me on there, just living the dream and not letting politics run my damn life. Not happening.
I respect it. I respect it a lot.
Right. Okay. Well, please go and follow this wonderful new friend of ours, Quincey. Make sure you follow him on Twitter, and make sure you follow him on Instagram for that one post a year. I'm sure if it's one post a year, it's going to be riveting. We will post links down below to Quincey's social media and to his OnlyFans so that you can go and watch him do his thing there. But for the time being, we're going to wrap up the show today. Quincey, thank you for coming on.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. If I can just say one thing before we do cut this thing off. People, for God's sakes, stop letting politics and politicians dictate your life. Knock it off. You're doing exactly what these bitches want you to do. Don't give them the satisfaction. If you loved your parents last week, love them next week. Who cares who gets elected? You still have a job to do. You still got a family. You still got kids, whatever. Focus on that. Please. Pretty please.
That's
I
a good way to end. That's a brilliant way to end. Harley, do you want to say anything before we close out?
I am just absolutely thrilled that you were our first guest, Q. Like, this was absolutely like everything I'd hoped for and more. So thank you so much for being on here. I absolutely loved everything you had to say. So thank you so much for that. Send me your links to everything you want me to plug in message, and I will put that in the info for on the YouTube and everything in the podcast episode. So thank you so much, Q. Seriously, this was absolutely fantastic. This is like a perfect first guest.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate you. And next time I'm in your area, I'm gonna have to holler at you. We're gonna have to meet up or something, all right?
Damn right. Damn right.
Oh yeah, definitely. Thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.